Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. Langflow, episode 11 of 15. The biggest mistake developers make when building Retrieval Augmented Generation is combining slow data indexing and real-time chat retrieval into a single pipeline. Every time the user asks a question, the system tries to reread a 100-page PDF. The solution is grounding the LLM with vector stores using a decoupled architecture. It is incredibly common to string all your components together on one canvas. You connect a file loader to a text splitter, pass that to an embedding model, drop it into a vector store, and wire it straight into a chat interface. That creates a massive bottleneck. Data ingestion and chat retrieval are entirely different lifecycle events. They should not live in the same execution path. The standard RAG architecture in Langflow separates this process into two distinct flows. First, you have the ingestion subflow. This is where the heavy operations happen. You take your source documents, like large PDF files, and pass them through a document loader. A text splitter then breaks the documents down into smaller pieces. When configuring your text splitter, you must match your chunk sizes to the maximum token limits of your chosen embedding model. If your chunk size exceeds that limit, the embedding model will silently truncate the text. The trailing sentences are ignored, and that missing data will never make it into your vector database. Once the text is properly chunked, you pass it to an embedding component to generate the vectors. Finally, those vectors are saved into a specific collection within your vector store component. This entire ingestion flow is executed when data changes, completely independent of the user interface. Now, the second piece of this architecture is the retrieval flow. This is the user-facing conversational part. Because the heavy indexing is already done elsewhere, this flow remains fast and responsive. It begins with a chat input capturing the user question. That question is passed to an embedding component. You must configure this component to use the exact same embedding model that you used during the ingestion phase. If you index data with one model and query it with a different one, the vector store will fail to find any relevant matches. The vector store component in this flow is configured to search the exact same database collection you populated earlier. It takes the embedded user question, performs a similarity search against the preloaded data, and returns the most relevant chunks of text. You then route those retrieved chunks along with the original user question into a prompt template component. That enriched prompt is finally sent to the language model, which formulates the answer. By splitting your RAG implementation into an asynchronous write flow for documents and a fast read flow for chat, you protect your chat interface from back-end processing delays. The golden rule of RAG architecture is that a user query should only trigger a search, never an indexing job. That is all for this one. Thanks for listening and keep building.